Greetings. Here's another episode of Making the Cosmic Survivor. Today, I wanted to talk about using identifiable elements in storytelling and the Eridanus Supervoid. The Cosmic Survivor is a space fantasy. The first issue, the first book, is available now. Just see the links below. But it's a space fantasy that takes place at a real place in the universe that you may or may not know about. If you look it up, the Eridanus Supervoid, you'll find it on Google or whatever search engine you use. And what it is, it's about, they say it's from a 2 billion light year across hole in the universe, a void, a super void. It could be, the estimates vary. It's either 2 billion light years or 10 billion light years across. And the width of it is supposed to be 150 to 500 million light years. And the width and the depth, it varies. And according to one site, the entire universe extends to 93.5 billion light years across. So it takes up a pretty good chunk. And there's a lot of theories about what's behind this void, if it was the origin of the Big Bang, or there's even multiverse theories that it could be an entrance to a multiverse. So I found it, and it was only discovered maybe about 20 years ago. And for me, I made it the destination where these cosmic entities were going to meet at the end of the universe and battle for the future of the universe. So that presents a problem, space itself is a problem to depict, as I maybe talked about a little bit in the first video. And, we all know stars, it's just how we do stars and so on, but you can just put a few simple white dots in black and people will recognize it as stars. But how do you identify other things when you're in interstellar space and there isn't too many identifiable objects? Now, what's an identifiable object is something that will give a cue to a reader of what the object is and where they are. So it helps with your storytelling. An example I gave in another video where I was doing a cover that featured Los Angeles is that if you don't put like a famous landmark of Los Angeles, there are other ways to identify LA. You could use palm trees. There's a lot of mini malls and highways. The streets are wider and sunnier. That would be considered an identifiable object to help in your storytelling. So you don't have to have an actual like Hollywood studio or Hollywood sign to tell you it's LA. There might be other ways to do that, and you won't be in that location all the time. So for me, to do a super void, which is very important to this story, as those who follow it will see, is I have to make it sort of identifiable. Making a hole in space could be simple, but it's also a little tricky. So I came up with this pattern here where I would show the rip hole. It'd sort of be this energy at the end of the super void hole to indicate that it's pulling energy into the hole and it's a rip in space. And I did it coming up with this pattern here, which I used throughout the book, and I think it's pretty successful. And it kind of indicates it's not exactly a black hole, but it's a space hole. Another thing is this is a page featuring the main villain on his way to the Supervoid, that being Nebulon. And this is the one that the characters are chasing in the Star Knights, being the Space Witch Veritas and the Star Knight Cosmo. They're chasing this creature, a star beast called Nebulon, who's an ice monster, and he takes the form of a comet when he's in travel. And so I always try to show the vastness of space and the length of travel and the vastness that surrounds these creatures. I think it impacts the story and it gives a scale, a cosmic scale that I want. So I put a few identifiable objects in there because I want to make it kind of convincing, but have elements that suggest the distance. And as you can see here, there's some asteroids, some clusters of asteroids, which I assume will be, roaming the cosmos, and will give, you could use as a foreshortening object, like something close to show the distance of things. And also the spiral of the galaxies. The spiral here looks a little cartoonish, which is okay. But when I take it into color, I'm going to light the lines so it look more like the galaxies we recognize. And most of the galaxies are in a spiral form. I don't draw nebulas and things like that in the ink version because I have sort of libraries of nebulas I made before that I could place in there if I feel I need it. I'd rather not like pack it with a lot of space stuff. So that's an identifiable object. A spiral galaxy, asteroid, stars, and now this thing here, when the reader sees it, they know that this is going to be the Supervoid. Another thing is, I inked a lot of this, and I was saving the to draw a little bit on the creature, on Nebulon. When he's traveling as a comet, he sort of has a shark head appearance, and he's going to change his form when he lands on the planet. Just giving a little bit of that away, but the identifiable object on Nebulon will be his eyes. His eyes have these sort of pincer things in his iris, and even if he takes a different form or a different shape, I've made his eyes this really distinct, with these kind of pincers that look like sort of teeth going inside. I might color it down with color and so on, so it doesn't look like he has teeth eyes, but the teeth shape will be in there, and that kind of suggests the kind of the evil and the menace of the character, and that will be kind of continued through the book. So Nebulon, just like Spider-Man has those eyes, or Batman has his mask and his ears, Nebulon has these kind of evil pincer-shaped irises, and that will help the reader identify Nebulon as his form transforms. When he gets to the planet, he's going to the planet Helios, which is at the edge of the Supervoid. In the story, that's where they're all going to meet. And Nebulon will eventually transform. I mean, he's not going to be a comet on Helios, or he might destroy it. But if he gets more like anthropomorphic, he's going to take a shape. And when he takes a shape, you'll have his eyes to refer to know it's still him. So I think about that as a storytelling device. So the reader has something to anchor on that they can identify, even if this is something they've never seen. Like how many people have seen interstellar space really drawn? But there's enough identifiable objects here to kind of place you okay. I mean, you kind of understand it. I'll show you the next page for this. As he, the next page of art, where it kind of zoomed out. I'll place it right here. So this will be Nebulon going towards the Supervoid, and it'll zoom back out, and we'll go back to one of the main characters, Veritas, in her star cave. And so the sense of distance, of depth, things like that is something I really want to convey. And a lot of it's done through the use of identifiable objects, something that's very crisp and clear to the reader what these things are, so they can kind of place themselves in the story. I'll show you some clips of the Supervoid on the web to show you that it is a real object. It is a real place. I think it's about 6 billion light years away from the Milky Way galaxy. And it's a source of fascination for scientists, especially on the topic of dark matter, which is one of the characters. It's the source of their power, especially for Veritas. That's the source of. She's like a space witch who controls dark matter, and the absence of dark matter and microwaves is one way how we chart the universe. Almost like sonar under the ocean, where you send a signal down and you see what comes back up and it takes a shape. They do the same thing for the universe through the light that's left over from the Big Bang. And this hole at the end of the universe is fascinating. And I think it makes a great setting for the Cosmic Survivor. And I hope you check it out. So the first book is in the links below. This is issue 2, and there'll be more to come. Thank you.